What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today I was planning on a different video coming out, but last night there was a new patch added into Black Ops 4 that actually addressed a lot of nerfs and buffs in both multiplayer and Blackout. So today we're going to be talking about everything that changed in last night's patch. Now, the interesting thing about this patch is it was kind of a under-the-radar sneaky patch because the way they actually did it. So as far as Call of Duty goes, there's generally speaking two different types of patches that they can do. One, a playlist update, which if you have ever been playing the game and it says game settings need to be updated, please restart the game, that's a playlist update. However, the other type of patch, the one that you're probably more kind of accustomed to, is the one where you literally need to update the game completely, download a new file, and generally speaking, that is the type of update that changes weapons, score streaks, things in game. But come Black Ops 4, that's not really the case anymore, and I think the reasoning for this is with previous Call of Duty games, every time they put out an update where you need to download a file, PlayStation needs to get paid. So Activision and Treyarch have to pay PlayStation, Xbox. The only thing they don't have to pay is PC. So by changing their update system so that they can update weapons, score streaks, and everything in between via a playlist update, it makes it so that they don't have to pay that amount of money and can update the game more frequently. So last night, there was a playlist update that changed a bunch of different stuff in game. So I thought we would talk about it today because some of you may not have even known it happened. So we're not going to cover in this video anything that's just a general fix or a bug fix. We're going to change the actual changes to gameplay, starting off with score streak. So the first score streak that was changed was the Thresher, and what they did is increase the Thresher's fire rate and projectile speed. So if you guys don't remember, the Thresher is essentially a fancy strafing run, and up until this point I considered it to be one of the worst high-level score streaks in the game. Now this is going to help with that in a bit. First of all, it makes it so it shoots more, and on top of that, the projectiles travel faster to make it easier to actually kill enemies. Is this going to make this a god tier score streak? No, I don't think so, but it's going to make it better. The second score streak that they made some adjustments to, and this one kind of surprised me, is the Sniper's Nest. I actually considered this to be one of the better score streaks in the game, but what they did is they buffed it by increasing the fire rate and the duration. So the previous duration of the Sniper's Nest was 1 minute and 5 seconds. They changed this to 1 minute and 20 seconds, so it lasts 15 seconds longer. On top of that, the fire rate was increased. I don't have an exact number of how it was increased, but it's a little bit faster. So this is going to make the Sniper's Nest that much better than it already is. And if you haven't tried out the Sniper's Nest, now I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. So the other really big change that they made to multiplayer has to do with the acoustic sensor. So if you don't know what the acoustic sensor is, it's a perk that essentially works like 6 Sense from Black Ops 3. It gives you a little trigger on your minimap when someone is close to you, it flashes red, but the problem with this is it triggers when they are very, very far away from you. So this, in my opinion, was the best piece of gear that you could use. It made you a better player, and what they actually did is give it a little bit of a nerf. So what they did is slightly reduce the acoustic sensor detection range. So the amount of distance that a person can trigger your mini-map indicator is now a little bit shorter. And they say slightly, but I found that it quite greatly decreases it. But if your enemy is using dead silence, then it is really greatly decreased. So if your enemy is using dead silence, they can be pretty much a few feet away from you before the acoustic sensor actually triggers. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a really good piece of gear, if not the best piece of gear in multiplayer. So if I'm being honest with you, I think that they might even need to give this a little bit more of a nerf, but we'll see what people think of this update in general. Now, aside from that, that's all that really happened to multiplayer. The rest of the things that have changed are Blackout, but they did announce that in the next coming week, there is going to be a weapons tuning patch coming out, which means they're going to give a bunch of buffs and nerf to a bunch of the multiplayer weapons. So stay tuned for that, and in a future video, we will talk about everything they changed to those weapons. They didn't give us an exact date of when that's going to happen. They just said sometime next week. So moving on to Blackout. Now, the main change that they made to Blackout has to do with 9 bangs, which is, in my opinion, a very welcome change. We'll talk about why in a minute. But the first thing that they changed is reduced inventory stack size for 9 bangs and cluster grenades from 2 to 1. So previously, before this patch, in an individual inventory slot, you could carry up to 2 cluster grenades or 9 bangs in an individual slot. Now you can only carry 1. So if you want to pick up another 9-bang or another cluster grenade, it's going to take up an extra inventory slot. And this is what I wanted to talk about when I said we'll talk about this in a minute. This is absolutely needed. I haven't talked about this yet in a video, but once you get to the end game in Blackout, it just seems like whoever has more 9-bangs, more cluster grenades, or more pieces of equipment is going to be the guy that wins, which is, I get it, that's part of the meta for Blackout. The problem is, though, the game didn't come down to who could use their pieces of equipment best. It came down to who had more pieces of equipment, because essentially a lot of the times you get to the top 2 people and they would just keep throwing 9-bangs until one person ran out, and GG, the person who had a 9-bang left wins at the end. And I get that looting is part of the game and that needs to remain that way, but at the same time, by reducing the amount of grenades that you can actually carry, it makes you have to be more tactful with them. That way, each individual use of a piece of equipment is that much more important in game. So I like this update. I think this is definitely something that will help Blackout play better. Now, change number 2 for 9-bangs is increase the charge time for 9-bangs. So you know when you pull out your 9-bang and the little thing charges up across the screen, that's going to take a little bit longer now, takes longer for you to throw them. And again, I think this is a pretty welcome change, just as long as they don't go too overboard with how long it takes to charge. And then the final change to 9-bangs is increased fuse time before detonation for a 9-bang. So what this actually means is that when you throw a 9-bang, there's going to be about a delay of about 2 seconds of when that 9-bang hits the ground before it blows up. What this is going to do is give your enemy time to get behind cover, get behind a tree, turn the other way, so the 9-bang actually doesn't affect them as much. Again, I think this is a pretty good update for it, but I haven't played the game since they've changed this, so we'll have to wait and see how it actually feels. But all in all, I'm pretty impressed with how they've changed 9-bangs. I think it's mostly for the better, but if you disagree, let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, the final kind of big change to Blackout that they made is they said that they reduced the dead silence duration to 120 seconds to match awareness. Now, I believe that before this patch it lasted 150 seconds. I could be wrong about that, but now it's 120 seconds, just like awareness is. Now, the big question I have to you is, are these times too long? Should dead silence and awareness only last a minute and a half? Is 2 minutes too long, or is that too short? What do you think? I'm kind of torn. Part of me thinks that if they only last a minute, it would make using them a little bit more strategic, but at the same time, I get that that's a very short period of time, especially in a game like Blackout. So let me know what you think. How long should these perks last? Let me know what you think down in the comments. So aside from some other bug fixes and other small changes, these are the big things that have changed to multiplayer and Blackout. Personally, I really like that they can make these changes without putting out a big update that you have to download that costs them money. So I think that's a really good thing that they're doing. On top of this, I like how open and how vocal they are being with changes that they are making to the game. Speaking of which, even though they haven't changed these yet, some things that they announced that they are planning on changing are, first of all, in the next coming week, they are putting out a weapon tuning update. So that's going to change the way multiplayer is played. It's going to change some of the weapons in game. So be sure to be subscribed and have notifications turned on, because as soon as that happens, I'll upload a video and let you know it actually changed. And the other thing that they actually changed 2 days ago that I didn't talk about is they increased the speed that you can level up your black market. So your various tiers in black market that are currently unlocked via playtime, they sped that up a little bit, which is a good thing. But they also announced that in the next short while, they're also going to be adding challenges to the black market to help you actually level up your black market a little bit faster. So when is that coming? At this point, we don't really know. All that they have announced is that it is going to be coming into the game. There will be, I'm assuming, daily and weekly challenges that'll help you level that up a little bit faster. This is something that everyone wants, and really the sooner it comes, the better, because let me tell you, it is taking me forever to level up that black market. But ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much sums up this small secret patch that came out late last night. If you like the changes, let me know in the comments. If you don't, let me know why you don't like them in the comments. And what I'm even more curious about is, what else would you like to see changed in multiplayer and Blackout? Is there some sort of score streak you'd really like to see buffed, or is there a weapon you'd like to see nerfed? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. I've got some really special stuff coming out over the weekend, so if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, guys, peace out.
We are rich. reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I want